Good morning, good morning. It's Pause with Elizabeth Eleanor, and I just wanted to say it's our 3rd anniversary of Women of Light movement, and this particular business. I've been in business my name's Elizabeth Eleanor, if you're watching for the first time, and I am the founder of Women of Light. We started Women of Light 3 years ago in September because I moved down to Sydney actually, and I started it as a meetup here in Sydney. I'm now in Shell Harbour actually, so I'm an hour and a half down from Sydney, but I started it in Shell Harbour and in Sydney, because I'd moved from far north Queensland to Sydney to be closer to family and all of those sort of things, and I was looking for my tribe. And so when I started the Facebook group, it just exploded and became a huge thing by itself very quickly. And I recognized that there was a lot of women out there looking for support, women that were shining their light in various ways in their community, in their family, in their relationships, and just in general as part of who they are. And they were looking for their tribe too. And so I might just ask someone if you can share that you can see me, because my thing is all fuzzy again. No, here I am. I'm here. So lovely to have you on. Hey, Crystal. And I want to say a couple of things today. There's some interesting stuff that's been happening, and so excuse me. First of all, Women of Light started 3 years ago, and we feel very, very honoured to be supporting women to shine their light and to express themselves and to be the example to other women, right? And so I want to share that a couple of things. One of them, you may have noticed that there is no plants behind me, because I have taken them all down to put out in the rain last night and get some rainwater. And what I recognized was that, oh my gosh, doesn't it look bland without that beautiful greenery? So I want to ask you, what are you doing in your house to support you to connect with yourself, to support yourself, to live in balance and harmony and love and light? What's going on in your surroundings? Because when I look in this surroundings now, it's very, very plain. And it made me want to go, I want to go and get my plants again, right? But it was too late to go and get them. So what are you doing in your environment to support you to feel whole and to feel centered? Because sometimes it's very, very easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, and you don't recognize that the things that are surrounding you are energetically transforming the way you support yourself and the way you interact with life, and your stress levels, or whether you're in center or out of center. I know that if my house is not clean and orderly, then it starts affecting the way I support myself and the way my brain functions. I don't know why my throat's funny, but anyway, it's because it's the first thing I've done this morning, right? So what I wanted to share was that on Thursday I went to the Oz Mumpreneur Awards. It was a conference and then it was the awards. It was an amazing, amazing experience. So many amazing, beautiful women doing fantastic things in the world, you know, like supporting other women. The woman that won the 2022 Oz Mumpreneur of the Year has the breastfeeding tea company. She makes tea for women that are breastfeeding and may have problems with their babies having colic and they can't get them to sleep and all of that sort of stuff. And so she makes a tea. And there was some other really, really beautiful women doing some amazing things, and I'm going to be doing some interviews with some of them, and I want to align with a couple of them as well for Women of Light. There was some charities that are here in Australia that I really want to align with. I already give to charity, and this I want to actually promote and you know, collaborate with other women that are doing some amazing things. So I want to share what happened to me on the weekend. So, well, it happened to me on Thursday, right? So I went to Sydney early in the morning, Thursday morning, and I was staying overnight with some friends, a couple of friends. We were staying in Woolloomooloo, and there was no parking at the apartment, so I had to stay in a Wilson's car park, and I had to be there at 8 o'clock, right? So it was an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half from Sydney to Shellharbour to Sydney. And because I was going at 8 o'clock in the morning, I knew that there was going to be traffic, so I left 2 hours beforehand. And long story short, I get there about 2 or 3 minutes after 8 o'clock when I'm supposed to be at the apartments, right? And I'm busting to the toilet, and I quickly get myself, and it's raining. And so I think was it raining? It was starting to rain. And so I park my car and I leave to go to the thing. Now, normally, because I know I don't take notice of my environment a lot, I've learnt that about myself over the years, so I am specific with certain things to make it easier for myself. Now, this is where I'm talking about anxiety, right? I'd love for you to put an emoji in if you have suffered from anxiety at some stage in your life. So I parked the car. Now, normally what I would do is I would take note of, you know, the pier and what color it is and what the number is, and sometimes I might even take a photo of it, so, you know, because I'm going to be away for the whole weekend or whatever it might be, so that I remember. And I didn't do any of that, right? So I go up or down a set of stairs, I can't remember which one, and there's a travelator. So I went along the travelator to get out, so then I could take my GPS and check what the time, what my location was, so I could go to the apartment, right? Now, one of the things that I have in my system is that everything always works out for me, and it's just a given. So I park the car, need to go to the toilet, grab all my stuff, go to the first set of stairs, up or down, can't remember which one I did, and then to this travelator, and then went outside, looked at the GPS, found out what it was, tried to ring the woman that I was with. She didn't answer the phone, and I just needed to go to the toilet, right? I didn't have any anxiety or anything like that. I'm walking down the street, and as I go around the corner to the street that the apartment's in, they come along, they've got a green man to say that they can go along the pedestrian, and here we are, we meet on the side. They both laugh. Oh, that's Elizabeth, right? I always have these things happen to me. And it's not because it's me, it's because I'm in aligned energy with what's going on in my world, right? I'm aligned And so people think these things are magic, but they're not. It's just that you're in alignment with your environment, with what's going on in your world, with the energy that's around you, right? So of course I meet them at the middle and we go to the toilet, all good, get to the place. Amazing experience. I was a finalist for my online community and course, and you know, it was beautiful. I'm going to do a Facebook Live about it later. It was an amazing experience. Friday morning, wake up, need to get my car so I can go with my daughter, because we have a full day. So what we're doing is Friday morning, I've got to get up, got to be at the car park at 8 o'clock in the morning, so then I can pick up my daughter at a train station. She's waiting for me, and we're going to 9 o'clock. We've got to be at a warehouse to have a look at some stuff for Women of Light, right? Which I don't want to share with you at the moment. Our launch is happening. And so, and then we've got like an hour at this place, and then we're traveling back down to Shell Harbour so that she can get her hair cut at my amazing hairdresser, because she's getting all her hair cut off. So I get to the car park, and I've seen a door, and I'm like, oh, if I'd gone through that door, I wouldn't have had to go around the Travelator, right? So I go through the door to find my car, and I can't find my car. And I think, okay, well, I'll go back to where the Travelator is and trace where I was back from there, right? Can't remember, did I go up, did I go down the stairs, can't remember. Get to the Travelator, and I'm like, okay, is this Travelator the only Travelator in the car park, or is there another one further down, because it's a big car park, right? And so I go back and I go, okay, maybe it was down. So I went down and I start looking for my car this way, and I look for my car that way, and I can't find my car. And it must have been about 10 minutes. Now I know there's a couple of things that happened in my body and in my head. And it was afterwards, in reflection, that I thought about women or people in general that have anxiety, right? Now my family, there's people in my family that suffer from anxiety, and I've suffered from anxiety in my life before I understood creation, before I cleared old thought patterns and the codes out of my body that caused all the mind chatter. Now this is really important. What happened was, so in reflection, I recognized that if one of my family members or anyone that has anxiety was in this same situation, their mind would start flicking with all these things. What if someone stole my car? Oh my God, I don't know where my car is. Oh my God, my daughter's waiting for me and she's going to get anxious herself. Oh my God, we're going to miss the 9 o'clock time. We're going to miss the time that we need at the warehouse. We're going to miss the time for the hairdresser. I'm going to cause problems for a whole heap of other people, right? And what happens is the body starts getting anxious. The mind has these thoughts, the body starts having the nervous system rewires into those same patterns where something previous had happened before in the same scenario, and therefore then the nervous system starts responding with fear that something's going wrong and that I'm not going to survive this. And so the nervous system, the synapses keep firing in the same space, and then next thing, you're anxious in your body, you might not even be able to breathe properly, and therefore you start, the spirit goes, I'm out of here, right? And you're half in and half out of your body, and you can't function, you can't think properly, you can't work out, and then it just starts escalating. Who's had this experience before where they've just gone into overwhelm and not being able to function because the body takes over and starts having this nervous response? All the nerves fire, and the next thing, the whole body is shaky, or you just feel like you can't function, right? And you can't breathe properly, and all of the scenarios that come up that could be a problem, right? Like, oh my God, someone's stolen my car. Oh my God, what if I can't get out because I got, like I'm going to be outside of the time frame. All of these things that can happen. And what I recognized, it wasn't until afterwards what I recognized. So I couldn't find my car, and I had a smile to myself. Oh, you didn't take a photo this time. Oh, you were in a rush, right? You didn't do your normal pattern, right? And so while I'm looking for the car, I thought, oh, okay, did I go up or did I go down? My body went into, the car's here somewhere, I've just got to find it, right? And I had a bit of a smirk to myself, oh, you did, like you've created this because you didn't prepare beforehand on the Thursday because you were rushing. So I went down, up, as I said, the escalator, the travelator thing. Is there another travelator in a different place? And I stopped for a moment and I'm like, okay, there's 2 or 3 levels. I think there was 2 levels in the car park. And there's 2 different sections, right? Is there a travelator here? Is there a travelator there, right? So I just start looking. 2 different people, 2 different men asked me if I need any help. I told them what the situation was. I said, I'm just trying to work out where I parked it. And one of them, I said, is this the only travelator here in the car park? And he said, yes, it is. And I said, well, that's a tick, right? Now I know I'm roughly in the right area, so I'm not in that other section. So while I was looking, my mind, instead of going, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late for this, and this, and having those synapses rewire into fear, what happened was I went, I might just give Carly a call to make sure that she is not waiting for me and that she's anxious. Where am I, right? Now, I gave her a call. I said, I can't find my car. She laughed. I laughed, right? I said, I'll find it soon because there's only two sections and I've narrowed it down to 1 section, right? She tells me what her morning had been like and why she was going to catch a train to a different train station, which actually worked out because it was going to be closer and she was going to have more time on the train, so therefore she was going to be a little bit late as well, right? So I said, oh, that works out perfectly. I then knew that we had an hour at this place that was the warehouse, and that I could technically narrow that down to half an hour so that I'd be able to get to on the road and to the hairdresser in time. And so instead of my body going into, oh my God, I can't find my car, and all of the scenario of failure and fear and concern and I'm not going to survive this and all of those things that the brain will come up with. This is the subconscious, right? The subconscious will come up with all of the scenarios where this has happened before, start putting you down, like I know people that go, oh, I'm such an idiot, right? The brain will come up with all of those past experiences, right? Instead of that happening, my brain went, oh, well, I'll find the car eventually. This is all silent instructions, because both of them, if I'd been in my anxiety, that would have been silent because it was old patterns that are so wired into the brain that you don't even recognize that they're there, and you're just in anxiety, right? You're in overwhelm and you can't function. What my brain did was, oh well, I'll find the car eventually, right? What are the odds of someone stealing my car, right? Like, I didn't even consider it. I had the moment to ring up Carly. We had a laugh. this is mum. Mum can do this every so often, right? I found out about the travelator, so 2 different people that could have been angels sent from God, right? You know, helped me, supported me in this is, you know, this is where the car park is and this is what's going on. So they gave me some extra information. The car was not in the car spot where I was considering in my mind, but because I just kept searching, and what came to me was get your keys out and start pushing the button, right? Because my car's white, and so is 500 other people's cars are white as well, right? And so I thought, I'll take the key out and I'll start, you know, clicking. And I found my car, and I was able to get out in time, and all was well, right? So we ended up being a little bit late at the warehouse because they had to go and get stuff that we weren't expecting. And I then had to ring up the hairdresser, and Carly got her hair cut and dyed, and it was all perfect, and everyone, it just was the way it was, right? I rang up and explained to the hairdresser what had happened, and it all worked out in perfect timing, and we all had fun and we all enjoyed ourselves. However, as I was talking to Carly about it, it was a real note, like it was one of these moments where I went, oh my gosh, people that live with anxiety would have this in their body for the whole day. It would cause anxiety all day. And then what happens is, because the body has wired that way, everything becomes a problem. The body is now in survival mode, and everything becomes a problem, and everything starts mucking up because you are then wiring in, this is what the triggers are in my energy field for me to survive this, and these are my old patterns. So the old patterns come up, and they all happen for you to go, see, I'm not safe. I'm not capable. I'm not good enough at doing this. Whatever it might be that your subconscious wants to keep identifying with. And it's a horrible, horrible place to live. It's a horrible experience. So if you live with anxiety in some form or another, please know that it is not you, and you don't need to live with it. If you suffer from depression, if you are living in any sort of conditions that are not conducive with you being in your light, you might be in a relationship that you're not, that's failing, or that's not giving you pleasure anymore. You might be in an emotionally abusive relationship. You might not like the job that you're in. You might find that your relationship with your children, is distant. You may find that you're not in the financial situation that you wish you were in. Whatever it might be, that is your subconscious identifying with past experiences and keeping you stuck in that identity. And I'm telling you that you do not have to live in that identity anymore. We are in a crucial time in life, in the world, where more and more women and more people are waking up, more and more human beings are waking up to their fullest potential and are starting to really emulate that here on the planet, right? And I don't want you to miss out on that experience. So if you are interested, please get in contact with us, and we can have a 30-minute chat that we can have a talk about. And in saying that, one of the things in September is I always do a big thing for our anniversary. This is our 3rd. We are giving away, we're not giving it away, we are completely discounting my my Awaken the Lioness 12-week mastermind, right? So it's usually a $2,000 course, and we have at the moment for $33. So if you would like to be part of that, put 33 in the comments and we'll get in contact with you, so that you can be part of this process. It's a 12-week course. It's drip fed, so it's sort of self-paced. You don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot of information in there about what I call the 3 powers. So learning about getting out of the power and powerless position and moving into empowerment. All about finding and experiencing your boundaries, your love languages, your personality type. And there's a lot about chakras and the shadow side of chakras. It's just jam-packed with information about living in your fullest potential. And we're offering it for $33 for the full September. So if you would like to be part of that, put 33 in the chat. One of the things that I wanted just to finish off with is on the weekend I went to a cafe. I went out to a movie. Went and saw a movie at an old theatre. It was lovely. If you haven't seen, it's most probably just about to finish now. Where the Crawdads Sing is a really awesome movie, actually. So if you haven't seen it, see if you can get to it at the theatres. We went and saw it at an old theatre. And while we went and had lunch first at a cafe, and I was sitting there with Tim, and there was a woman that came up to get our order. She took our order. There was another woman that came and gave us our coffees, gave Tim his coffee, and then there was this other woman that came and she gave me my coffee. Right now, she was standing behind Tim, or to the side of Tim, and I reached out, and it was a little bit awkward to get the cup, and I said to Tim after she left, did you notice the interaction that I just had with that woman? And he said, oh yeah, it was a little bit awkward, and I said, but did you notice? And and he said, yes, he did, but he didn't see her face, right? Out of the 3 women, the woman that came and gave me the coffee was, the first one was an older woman. The second 2 were young women, and the one that gave me the coffee was in a hijab. She was Muslim, right? And out of all 3 of them, the woman that gave me the coffee was a woman of light. And Tim asked me, how do you know? How do you know that she's a woman of light? And and the reason being, and it took me a little while to get this, the reason I knew was because she let me in. Women of light let people in. She was smiling. We both looked at each other. We knew each other's soul. We had a giggle at the awkwardness that was happening. She let me into her energy field. And I think all women are women of light, right? Because we're from the light. It's just that you may not remember. You may not know that you're a woman of light. The difference is because so many women have been hurt and damaged and have armor on, and you can't get in. You can see the surface, but you can't get in. And this woman shone brightly. She was young, and she shone, and she let me in. And then that's when I recognized, that's what I notice about, because I can see women, and I go, there's another woman of light, there's another woman of light, right? And don't have to be on the page, don't have to know anything about this person, this page, right? It's an energy that you have. And so when I see them, I always smile. We always have a moment together, because one woman of light knows another woman of light. We just know each other. And so it's a really beautiful experience. So I am going to ask you, as this week's pause, this week's reflection, to be aware if you're letting people in, to start with, and what that means. Because if you are concerned about letting people in, then you need Awaken the Lioness, because there is a way of knowing when to be discerning and when to open up, right? Especially when you're interacting with men. And so if you're a woman of light, I'm going to ask you to reflect and to smile at any other women of light that you see, and just recognize them. Just recognize them and validate each other with a smile. Because, and you may already do this, but I'm just inviting you to do it. And any men out there, if you see, because this is going to be broadcast out there in my business page as well as other areas, if you see any other, if you see any women of light, please acknowledge them as well, because it takes, all of us have been damaged. We live in a broken world. We're not broken, but we live in a broken world. And for a woman to shine her light, it's her stepping outside of that damage and that trauma, and sharing who she is regardless of all of the pain and suffering that she's been through in her history, right? Regardless of the genetic makeup that other women have. You know, we've all got it within inside of us, all the history of women being damaged in some way, you know, and it can be quite traumatic. So to step up, to be a woman of light, takes courage, tenacity, and you know, is not an easy feat sometimes for some women. So please acknowledge them when you see them. Now, because we're on our Women of Light 3rd anniversary, I would love to give away, as the very first prize, first giveaway that we've ever had for this particular anniversary, I'm going to give away something big, actually. I'm going to give away 3 months in my master, my top-end course called Conscious Creator Mastermind. And I'm giving away a 3-month sneak peek into it. So if you're interested and would like to see what it's like to be in Conscious Creator and clear some of the codes that have held you back from being in your genius and your divine wisdom, then put in the comments here, yes please, and we will do a raffle at the end of the day. We'll do a draw, and some lucky woman is going to win that. So take care, everyone. I've gone over. Keep an eye on this page. Share this page with as many women of light as possible. If you've got friends that you know that are not on this page, please invite them in. Share the love. Pass it forward so that they can also get the opportunity to shine in this community, as well as, you know, win some amazing prizes and stuff as well. So take care, and I will see you again tomorrow.